Arsenal once all the paperwork is finished up. Be the second player they've signed from City this summer after Gabriel Jesus. Pato. Again looking over the top. Nearly picks out Jake Mulroney. It's Holding who gets there. There's Halliday for Orlando City. Back post. Pereira misses.
What do you mean? It's a pass. Look.
That was wrong. João Martinho gave it his all, but couldn't track that down.
You could see the idea from Mikey Halliday as he saw Andres Pereira making that late run into the box to try to put it in his path. It's not a terrible ball, but I think Pereira could have maybe used a different resource to try to deal with that one. But Orlando City full of confidence here in the dying moments of the first half. They're really pushing numbers. What I liked about the Major League Soccer side is that they've not shied away from a good challenge. They look comfortable. They look like they've been here. And a lot of these players have. You got Pato obviously playing in the absolute biggest stage. And I think having his experience and his leadership has helped this team, who so far, besides from that early goal, they've looked comfortable. They look like they belong.
It would have been easy to crumple up too after that goal early, and Arsenal looked so good. As Pereira taking it off and catching, and Pato slides into one to keep Orlando in possession. The Lions have really stepped up here since that early shot goal for Martinelli. We saw last night Barcelona go down to Miami and just crush the MLS side down there. Inter Miami 6-0 in a game that had been really hyped up. And Barcelona turned it into a laugher. Orlando has not allowed that here tonight. If anything, they have been in lockstep with the Gunners.
And I think the Gunners as well, they're trying different things. Sure. This is the third different formation that I've seen in the last two games. Versus every time they started in a 4-2-3-1 with Odegaard as the number 10 and Xhaka and Partey supporting him. And then he went to a back three in the second half. Obviously not very pleased with the way that turned out. A lot of giveaways, not a lot of rhythm, not a lot of tempo in the second half of that match. And then here he's coming out with a 4-3-3 with Elneny being that dictator, that regista in the middle, and allowing those two other players in front of him, Maitland-Niles and Lokonga being the guys that are pressing and getting involved a little bit more in the attack. So they're obviously trying new things and adding minutes and load to players that they want to see have a protagonist role.
It will be interesting to see who Arteta uses in the second half here. Arsenal trying to complete a perfect American tour. They've won 3. They have tonight and then the Chelsea match on Saturday to go here in the FC Series. And their opener just 16 days away on Friday Night Football in England against Crystal Palace. Here's Cedric. Lots of Arsenal players, but it's Halliday who heads away. At Pepe, Nketiah, Lokonga. Benji Michel turns on Rob Holding. Benji Michel racing into the open field. Arsenal scrambling to get back, and Benji will settle it down.
Rob Holding, you can see his body language not pleased.
Pato with a gorgeous switch, and Halliday makes a deal of it. Does seem like Alexandre Pato's really enjoying himself out there tonight, doesn't it?
I think he's figured out a way to be effective, because in the first 20 minutes of the game, he wasn't sniffing the ball. Nothing was coming his way. And, we talked about it. He's a guy that likes to link up. It's a guy that likes the ball. He gets frustrated when he doesn't have the ball, so he's willing to drop into deeper areas, get on the ball, get some touches, build confidence, disrupt a little bit, create some chaos in this mid-block of Arsenal, and then look to create from there. So you're seeing a guy that, look at the spacing from Arsenal right here. This is a 3v2, and obviously this is not an ideal ball. And I think they're seeing opportunities there on his right-hand side, obviously with the goal and that opportunity with Benji Michel previous.
Maitland-Niles, Nicola Pepe, and João Moutinho this time. Pepe, Maitland-Niles, Cedric down that right-hand side have had very little joy against Orlando City so far tonight. Here's Benji Michel, Jake Mulroney. Facundo Torres screaming for it. It'll go that way. Torres has the goal tonight for Orlando. Took it beautifully. Looking for another. In on Tavares. Sends it back. Andres Pereira. That's into the second deck. not happy with his effort there. He scored a worldie in the domestic cup for Orlando earlier this year.
Yeah, this is a missed opportunity because Facundo Torres, I mean, this isn't a platter. And what happens here is Perea, he has zero conviction coming into this game. It looks so beautiful, just right there on the platter. And he's just gets caught in two minds. He doesn't know if he should go with the inside and just try to place it or with power. Stage here.
That was 4 or 5 rows up in the second deck in the Arsenal end. A lot of red in the building tonight, but the purple wall has been the loudest. Torres to Mikey Halliday.
How many times are you going to see this? Orlando City completely pinning back Arsenal.
Robin Janssen.
Not many times have we seen Martinelli getting back and helping out, and that's why you're seeing a lot of opportunities from Orlando City coming on the right-hand side because Martinelli doesn't really want to track back.
And Ketcha trying to spring Pepe, but not enough there. 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half for the hydration break. We'll see how many changes we get at halftime. We would expect quite a few for both teams. Is the even scoreline representative for you so far?
I think it's very respectable. I think it's very even, and I would even argue that Orlando City has had the absolute best opportunities in this game. It's been disappointing, to say the least, from some of these Arsenal players. Pepe on the right-hand side, 70+ million. They're hoping that he can turn the corner and become an effective player, but you know, he struggled here in this first half. Mind you, it's preseason, but you would think a player in his position, you're looking at this as great opportunities to claim a stake and maybe earn some minutes, especially with all the quality coming into the team.
There's a lot of players on the pitch right now for Arsenal that are on the fringes of this team that are looking to get into the plans for Mikel Arteta. And right now, Orlando City is upsetting those very plans. Pablo Mari is one of them. Spent last year at Udinese. Maitland-Niles and Nicola Pepe. Knocks it back, El Neni. They'll try Martinelli on the left. Okonga to the middle, and Ketcha. And Ketcha looking to turn. He misses wide as he moves his way through Robin Janssen. The Swede kept him just off balance.
And this is what we saw in the first half. This is what they were very good at in those first 5 to 10 minutes. Martinelli coming on the left-hand side. If you get him isolated, he's going to ask all sorts of questions. And that little combination with Nketiah and Lokonga there. Nketiah, you know, he has the ability to turn on Janssen. Janssen not necessarily as tight as he probably should be in that situation. He's able to release the shot. Nketiah, luckily for Orlando City, this is not a quality one.
Janssen lobs it down the field. Good header by Perea. Michel settles it down. Torres again open on the right. Lovely touch. Tried to squeeze in Halliday. I don't know that Mikey was entirely ready for it.
Yeah, he didn't get the memo. He didn't read the email. He was still running, and I think what Mikey thought that his underlapping run was just going to take a player away and allow Facundo Torres to come inside and maybe take a shot or deliver across to the back post, but the Uruguayan designated player had other ideas.
Orlando with the final sequence here at the end of the first half. Halliday turned over. Nuno Tavares. Can he get some support? Antonio Carlos takes it away, and that will end the first 45 minutes. All square. Gabriel Martinelli's opener canceled out by a lovely strike from Facundo Torres. 1-1 at halftime, Miguel. Thoughts on this first 45 in front of a great crowd here at Exploria Stadium?
I think there's conclusions for both of the managers. I think more positively for Oscar Pareja and Mikel Arteta, probably very happy with the way the team started the first 10-15 minutes, getting an early goal, but then after that, they allowed too many holes in the back line that Orlando City was able to exploit. curious to see if we'll see some changes. Of course, they have a game versus Chelsea in 3 days' time here at Camberwell Stadium in Orlando. And probably the final test for them before their first game of the season on August 5th was through Crystal Palace. So it'll be interesting to see what decisions are going to be made in terms of the formation and the personnel coming into the second half.
Well, we see some of those marquee players for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, he's already out there warming up. We'll see what the Gunners roll out. Orlando City 1, Arsenal 1. Back in a few minutes with stats and highlights from the scintillating first half here at Exploria Stadium.
It's modern art. Serie A. Live and in HD only on Supersport. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by BetKing. That feeling, that's BetKing. This is the Supersport Nation. Make it yours. The Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games on Supersport on DSTV.
This is for a trip to sizzling Sicily. This is for the courage and heart.
Scintillating tennis.
For the passion and perseverance.
Quite remarkable tennis. My goodness. Beautiful work.
This is for Palermo.
Oh, that is sensational.
And for incredible Italy. Travel the world following the women's tour. Live on Supersport.
This Saturday on Supersport, Jamie Chadwick eyes 5 from 5 when the W Series heads to France. The Dutch champions shape up for the season ahead with a trip to Frankfurt. And the PGA Tour takes a $7.5 million swing through Minnesota. Up your game on Supersport.
Last night I had a dream. When I got to Africa, I had one hell of a rumble. Wait till you see Muhammad Ali.
Buza Noma Uwan. It's where the beauty is.
He wants the crowd inside the stadium raise the roof.
Oh, it's a feeling where the vibe is, right?
South Africa, the World Cup is theirs!
Marcel Nizar.
It's absolutely rocking.
This is what we call it the most. Anywhere and everywhere.
This is where I express my feelings, my thirst, my everything.
It's where the queens are.
And the kings. Home is where I am. This is my house.
This is where I am.
This is my house.
What's the Carabao? Not your everyday knockout competition. It's 92 Premier League and EFL teams battling it out over 7 rounds with no replays or extra time. At least for the first 5 rounds, of course. It's more pressure for them, glory for us, and of course the thrill of a guaranteed double-legged tie in the semis. The Carabao Cup, definitely a different kind of knockout. Experience all the action live on Supersport, your world of champions.
Hello everyone and welcome along to our coverage of this pre-season friendly fixture as Crystal Palace take on Ipswich Town. Ball there dispossessed. This is Benteke, plays it across the Plange, real opportunity, and Luke Plange slots it home. 9 minutes is all it took for Crystal Palace. He's been their brightest spark so far and well worthy of his goal. Luke Plange as his first Palace goal was an helpless as well as the goalkeeper Hidaki. To Benteke again, nice setback. Benteke has it back. Plange is an option again. It's Benteke. Benteke rolls it across for Plange, and just like that, it's those two linking up again. Luke Plange has 2 goals in the space of as matter of many minutes, and it's 2-0 to Palace. Really good again from the Belgian striker Benteke, burst in behind and once more just laid it across for the simplest of finishes. That one even more simple than his first. Luke Plange couldn't really have asked for a better start to this pre-season friendly. And Luco on set piece taking duty again. It's flicked on at the near post again. It was Palace failing to get the first contact on that. George Edmondson coming close. Arthur again. Humphreys. Might open up the shot here for Humphreys. Humphreys goes on. Humphreys, in the end, just drags it wide. Really did open up, though. The Crystal Palace defence there. No pressure on Cameron Humphreys. Eze skips past the first Ipswich defender. Eze then takes it inside. Good ball across, and it's slotted, but it's against the post this time. It was another attempted slotted finish from Schlupp. The whistle's gone here. Similar to the two Luke Plange slotted finishes. And coming close that time was Jeff Schlupp, but denied by the upright. The offside flag immediately raised. And that goal wouldn't have stood anyhow. Zaha remonstrating with the referee, but perhaps have been wiser to be more alert to the action that was unfolding in front of him. Here's Benteke. Benteke brings it down. This time the flag stays down. Benteke! 3-0 Palace. And Christian Benteke adds his name to the score sheet, having got the first 2 assists. Benteke now has a goal for himself. Skips by the initial Palace challenge, and ball instead there goes for goal. There was options left and right, but ball testing Owen Goodman in the Palace net. It's another good save made by the Palace number 1. Some stoppage time at the end of this first 45, given the drinks break that we had at the midway point of it as well. Good ball through to Benteke. Benteke, was he pulled back there? Benteke goes on. Benteke this time denied. Vladaki makes the save, and Benteke fails to make it 4. Benteke in a wide left position. Back to Wilfred Zaha. Zaha, good ball forward to Plange. Plange, can he finish? Yes, he can. And Luke Plange has himself a hat-trick. His first start in a Palace shirt. And Luke Plange has 3 goals to his name. An excellent performance from him. An excellent finish there. Palace 4, Ipswich 0. Taken down sublimely on the chest. And the Ipswich defenders just watching. Sense there's still more goals in this for Crystal Palace, especially with the changes that they have available to use and are being ready. We've used that time penalised. Might have got something on the wall there, but the referee was perfectly positioned to make that call, and Hugh's not happy, but the decision goes against him. Aluko takes, it's flicked on, and it is in. And Ipswich have one back. And Crystal Palace's clean sheet is extinguished. 4-1. Really good delivery from the left from Aluko, and again it's problems at the back defending set pieces for Palace. Flick header from the new signing Dominic Ball, and he has himself his first goal in an Ipswich shirt. Friedewald instantly involved with the action. That's a decent looking ball through for Ipswich though. Boabo set back for Aluko. Excellent goal. Ipswich have themselves another, and it's 4-2. Much the making from Gerard Boabo, but the finish from Sonny Aluko wasn't bad either. Right into that top corner. Took it first time, placed it perfectly. Finishes here at the Crystal Palace training ground. Crystal Palace 4, Ipswich 2.
This is the Rolex Series.
Well, the hard work has certainly paid off. He's taken his career to another stage today. And it earns him a Rolex Series victory. Nothing quite like that winning feeling.
Okay, we've got to go live now. I need everyone tuning in to Supersport.
Welcome all over the world. It's time for the main event. We've waited a very long time, an age for some. It is delicious, glorious, glorious.
Are you ready for football's greatest season? Live on Supersport, only on DSTV.
Welcome to Supersport.
Welcome all over the world. It's time for the main event. We've waited a very long time, an age for some. It is delicious, glorious, glorious.
Are you ready for the first greatest season? Live on Supersport, only on DSTV.
The game has changed. It's one of the most spectacular sports events in the world. The Summer X Games. Watch the Summer X Games from 20 to 24 July, live on ESPN.
Watch ESPN on DSTV.
ATP 500 clay court action returns to Germany this week. Welcome to the Hamburg European Open.
I'm lucky this week. I'm with my girlfriend. It will be a very, very good week for me.
I have a really great memory too. I'm very happy to come back.
Oh, just ridiculous tennis. Oh, brilliant. Unbelievable shot. What a fantastic effort. Is the champion in Hamburg, the biggest title of his career.
Catch all the intrigue of the ATP Tour live on Supersport. DSTV Premium lets you have it all.
Welcome back to Exploria Stadium, Orlando City, and Arsenal level at 1 after 45 minutes. Facundo Torres, the goal for the hosts. Gabriel Martinelli on the board for the Gunners. We'll see the halftime changes here momentarily. Arsenal preparing goalkeeper Matt Turner. And Orlando City getting a bunch of changes ready. We'll get the entire list for you once we have it. What a great crowd here tonight at Exploria Stadium. Over 20,000 fans, a lot of Arsenal jerseys. One chance for folks here to see their favorite team. And a great English community here in Orlando. And of course, the Premier League has just caught fire with American fans as well. And Orlando's Purple Wall has done a pretty great job countering all the Gunner support here in the stands. It's been a wonderful night, even with our hour-long delay so far. What a great showcase for this city as a soccer destination.
Yeah, it really has, and it's not something new. And I hate to go back to the times of COVID, but Orlando was, I think globally, the place where sports started back, and the NBA bubble, the MLS bubble, and obviously the infrastructure, and it's such a sport city. It's good to see this sort of spectacle, the Florida Cup now, around for about 5-6 years, and obviously they had to take a break during COVID, but last year came back strong with some international teams. That's Everton, Pumas de Mexico, Colombian teams, and it always gets bigger and bigger. And this is the first time that it's in the summer. And that's why you have Orlando City able to participate. So it's good to have the local team for the Florida series to be part of the series. I think the second half it's going to be terrific. So big names coming into the pitch, Evan.
Orlando City bringing Junior Urso on. They're starting number 8. He wears the 11 shirt for Orlando. Colt hero Rodrigo Schlegel making an appearance. But the big names are on the Arsenal side. Ben White, their £50 million central defense signing from last summer, is on. Gabriel, a locked-on starter for Arsenal. The other Gabriel, a Brazilian, step in, and there is the main man, Gabriel Jesus, on his unveiling tour at the moment. 3 goals in his first 2 appearances in a Gunner shirt since joining from Manchester City for a reported £49 million fee. And Gabriel Jesus will take the stage here at Exploria Stadium, as will Martin Odegaard, the former Real Madrid man and midfield conductor for Arsenal. And Ketcha off for the Gunners. Maitland-Niles will take a seat as well. Gabriel replacing Pablo Mari. Martinelli has come out, and Cedric gives way to Ben White, who's coming in it right back here. Back underway, second half with Miguel Gallardo and Evan Weston. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Arsenal will attack the south end here in the second half.
Well, nominally here in the second half, Mikel Arteta sends out a stronger lineup, more of a preferred selection in some of the positions, certainly in the center-back position, and Javier Jesus with that turn right there that already impacted the game.
Jesus sends it down the line, gets it back from Nketiah. Jesus curls one right at Gillespie, and immediately Gabriel Jesus makes his presence known.
Yeah, right away. 43+ million invested, already paying dividends. With 3 goals so far in this preseason, obviously unofficial goals, but already settling well. Mikel Arteta mentioned after the game versus Everton that he created chaos, the Brazilian international, and that's what he wants to see from his number 9.
Nketiah has moved wide for Arsenal to take up Martinelli's spot on the left, and Jesus will go in as a center forward. Odegaard replacing Maitland-Niles. White for Cedric, and Gabriel for Mario, the changes for Arsenal. Orlando, meanwhile, just 3 swaps. Junior Urso for Araujo, Kyle Smith for Joao Moutinho, and Rodrigo Schlegel for Robin Janssen are the 3 changes for the hosts. Odegaard and Ben White. Nicola Pepe down the right flank against Smith. Pepe trying to elude him and can't. Kyle Smith, a former CPA from Cincinnati, Ohio, who spent 2 years in semi-pro soccer after graduating from Transylvania University. Count on with a 2nd division team, was brought up to MLS in 2019 with Orlando City, and has been a staple for them, largely as a reserve or 3rd choice fullback who can do a job. Oscar Pereja calls him El Soldado, the soldier, for his willingness to put in a shift. With Joao Moutinho back, he'll finally get a little bit of a break, you would think. It's 45 minutes here tonight. Pepe getting a long run out here from Mikel Arteta. Struggled in the first half. El Neni. Nketiah. Odegaard flashing wide. Pepe. Pushed off the ball by Rodrigo Schlegel. It's a corner.
I think it's going to be important for Orlando City to weather the storm and match the intensity of Arsenal here in the second half. Odegaard already being impactful, controlling the tempo in the middle of the field.
Pepe curls it in. Knocked around the penalty area. Antonio Carlos can't get it clear, but Jake Mulroney with a lovely touch. Out to Facundo Torres. Arsenal scramble back to cut off the counter. Pato stepping on Odegaard. And he'll get the foul call. Alexandre Pato reminding English fans of his quality here tonight. He's really done well tucking underneath and helping to spring Orlando City's speedy front players.
Yeah, and what's important is for Orlando City's wingers to understand that when Pato leaves that area, they need to fill that void and fill that gap. Otherwise, you know, that possession is good for nothing. There's got to be intention in the possession when Pato drops down to try to link up.
Lukonga wins it for Arsenal. Odegaard getting on the ball, getting comfortable. Lukonga, Gabriel Jesus working against Antonio Carlos. Jesus flying into the penalty area, cross is cut out by Galese. Odegaard was waiting. And more just delicious quality from Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal fans have waited a long time to have a center forward like this.
I think delicious is an excellent way to describe it. Just look at his explosive power, his ability to control the ball. It's like he's got glue in his boots. It's difficult for the players to contain him. And ultimately, I think the decision-making was lacking. I think he should have maybe had a cutback where he had Odegaard, if I'm not mistaken, just making that little run. Instead, he went first post to try to surprise Pedro Galese. But you just can see how dangerous he is. His nose for goal, creating chaos like Mikel Arteta described him after the Everton match. He's certain that he's going to give him a better chance of playing championship football in the near future.
No one has ever questioned the talent of Gabriel Jesus. Just can put it all together. Here's Pato. Took a good touch. Ben White following him central. Urso, and that's good work defensively by Nicola Pepe. Only as far as Pato. Jake Mulroney. Pato sort of caught in no man's land there. Now Jesus throws an arm up at Schlegel. And Kevin Broadley lets it play on. Jesus, 95 goals for Manchester City, but never quite found that great rhythm. He had one stretch very early on in his career where Kun Aguero got hurt, and he was magnificent. Ronaldo, El Fenomeno, actually praised him as the future of Brazilian soccer at one point, and perhaps he still is. That position is not entirely settled on the Brazilian national team at the moment.
Yeah,
you see this foul here.
No doubt. And doing a good job just softening his body as he feels the pressure of Nketiah there. But he's very much an integral piece of the Brazilian national team.
58 caps at 25 years old. Just ridiculous.
Holy!
Jake Mulroney takes out the 50 million pound man, Ben White. Mulroney's cross. And there is Matt Turner, the American goalkeeper, to cut it off in front of Benji Michel. Matt Turner, the one guy in this building for Arsenal, as Antonio Carlos runs down Nketiah. Matt Turner, very familiar with Exploria Stadium. He's played here before with the New England Revolution. You see this?
I'll take this out. And nope, see you later. And that was beautiful from Mulroney, and his cross was halfway decent. Too good.
With a long-range strike, it caught Galese off guard. Jesus up to the rebound. That's a great tackle. Rodrigo Schlegel down in a heap after cutting off Gabriel Jesus, who went blasting in after that rebound. It's an Arsenal corner.
Yeah, what a wicked strike there that Pedro Galese did not deal with properly because of the swerve and the knuckle. He has to just use his chest, and then terrific job there by Mikey Halliday and Rodrigo Schlegel to be proactive after that shot and keep Gabriel Jesus from putting the ball in the back of the net.
Corner. Serve it back in. Nicola Pepe. Odegaard. Cut off Kyle Smith. And the flag goes up anyway. nearly a terrific combination there from Arsenal, and now some chatting between the two sides after some heavy contact in the penalty area between Pepe and Kyle Smith.
Well, this is just terrific. That's what Mikel Arteta wants. And listen, that's a very questionable call. I think they have every right to complain this one, because he does really well at just stepping into the line of the offside. And it's Junior Russo who I think leaves him on. Obviously, no VAR. This cannot be reviewed.
Well, I'm with you, Miguel.
But I think
don't think that's an offside at all.
Jesus being an absolute nightmare to deal with for Orlando City.
Here he goes again. He'll let this one drop. It's an Orlando throw. 1-1 game. Gabriel Martinelli with the opener, deflected off Antonio Carlos. Facundo Torres with an answer that I checked Twitter a little bit during halftime, and Uruguayan soccer Twitter is already blowing up that Facundo Torres goal against Arsenal. What a finish. What a move from the young sensation.
Well, it is a big year for him, and this is a great opportunity for Facundo Torres, because at the moment he's not precisely in the picture for the national team of Uruguay.
Right on the fringe, right?
And he was before he made the move to Orlando City, where it's taken him a little bit to adapt. Mind you, he's getting better and better and adapting faster and faster. But ultimately, his goal is to play in the World Cup. He is very young, but he's part of that new generation of La Garra Charrúa, the Uruguayan national team. He doesn't want to miss out. So he's a man inspired, motivated, to make sure that he gets back into the picture of the Uruguayan national team.
Arsenal been in control here in this second half. Nketiah from El Neni. And Nketiah tried to combine with Lokonga, but it's picked off by Junior Urso, Orlando's best ball winner. Torres stymied by El Neni. The Egyptian cutting down Facundo Torres. Now Andres Pereira steps up to win it.
Yeah, loose touch there by Nketiah. Back-to-back pressure here, and counter press from both teams. They want to get the ball back real quick.
Gabriel Jesus wins it for Pato. Two once bright hopes for the Brazilian national team going at it there. Now Pepe. Nicola Pepe, shot blocked by Schlegel. El Neni. Odegaard, the Norwegian first choice central attacking midfielder for Mikel Arteta. This could never break in at Real Madrid, but he's found a home in London. It's Nketiah. Nuno Tavares. Tavares going to have a go. That was perhaps not his best option there. He has struggled here tonight. Facundo Torres really put him in a bit of a blunder on the goal, and maybe trying to get himself going there as Alexander Zinchenko watches on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's a player that, he's looking at every minute as an opportunity to claim a stake, although I think deep down he probably knows that it's not going to be him who's going to be starting if everything is ideal in terms of health for Mikel Arteta. It's going to be the newest addition, left back from Manchester City, and Zinchenko, who's going to be in charge of that left flank. So he wants to make sure that he becomes relevant. He stays relevant on the team, although that effort there left a lot to be desired.
Odegaard, what a ball. Nketiah! Galese makes the stop for Orlando. And then a dangerous one there. He's got to make probably a better save on Mikey Halliday.
Yeah, what a save from Pulpo Galese against his own teammate. And he's smiling there, but look at the skill from Nketiah. But a fantastic ball from Odegaard, who he has everybody thinking that he's going to go wide. And as the players from Orlando City start to shift, he threads one right to Nketiah. And Pedro Galese with a terrific save. What a turn here. And Mikey Halliday needs to know that Pedro Galese is out of position and has to get balance before he passes the ball back.
Changes coming for Arsenal. Thomas Partey Ghana, former Atletico Madrid man, and another big money signing for Arsenal a couple of years ago. He steps on for El Neni. Also getting Bukayo Saka, their young English superstar, among others, ready to come on. Granit Xhaka will step in for Lukonga. Xhaka, longtime Arsenal player. He's appeared 250 times in all competitions for the Gunners. Swiss captain. William Saliba, the Frenchman, replacing Rob Holding. And then Saka will come on for Nicola Pepe. Saka, Arsenal's player of the season each of the last 2 years. And now the roar for him as he steps on.
He's their darling, isn't he? He's the fan favorite, the hope, the future. 20 years old, already an impactful player with a bright future.
Here comes the corner from Odegaard. Headed back to the top of the area by Orlando. Torres nicely done to settle that down to Mikey Halliday. And he hits it ahead. Rodrigo Schlegel, the center back, has just charged forward here. It's one back by Gabriel. Saka's already made 97 Premier League appearances. He debuted on New Year's Day 2019, just after his 17th birthday.
It's incredible, and he's grown a lot. You know, he went through a difficult moment, missing the penalty kick in the Euros, the final one, the decisive one.
What a tough spot to put a 19-year-old in, by the way.
Absolutely. There was a lot of controversy there, and, you know, we could talk about all the different situations and the possibilities, but the reality is those are the facts, and the facts is that, look at him.
Saka taken down by Kyle Smith, free kick Arsenal.
But what a delight to watch a player of that quality. Look at how good he is on the ball and how smooth he's able to get past Kyle Smith there, and then a little elbow to the side. And I would argue that he was in a really good position to continue to drive and create something, as he had Orlando City players facing their own goal.
Smith looked for stopping that opportunity. And now Odegaard. This is a nightmare to defend if you're Orlando.
Yeah, he's going to go to the back post, whip it in there, hoping for a little touch. If not, maybe can the ball squeeze in the back of the net. He's going to come with some poison here.
Odegaard headed away. Didn't get it quite far enough, and Pato had the header for Orlando.
Yeah, Pato having a really good game. Oh, he's inspired. You know, he's adjusted really well to the game, especially when he wasn't as active, as involved in the first few minutes of the first half, and he's come alive. As we see the substitutions here, Mikey Halliday, homegrown for Orlando City, come off. And speedy Brazilian, number 2, Juan, making his way onto the pitch. It's going to be a fun matchup, Juan and Nketiah, two players that are dynamic, that are fast, going at each other.
Yeah, it's a track meet on that flank. Joshua Akindele will replace Facundo Torres in 1-8 for young El Cuervo Facu Torres to score against Arsenal and score the way he did, a magnificent individual goal.
Yeah, terrific night from Facundo Torres. You feel like he probably could have had an assist with that ball to Benji Michel that he should have finished, and then himself a recipient of a wonderful delivery from Pato that he couldn't control well. Overall, a very, very good performance by the young designated player for Orlando City.
Arsenal have been the protagonists here in the second half as they look for the go-ahead goal. Bukayo Saka putting on a lot of their regulars here for the Orlando crowd. Gabriel fouled by an overzealous Benji Michel.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a great test for Orlando City, because now you got a lot of the starters for Arsenal on the pitch with 30-plus minutes left, and they're going to be putting a lot of pressure. How can Orlando City deal with this? Can they come away with a good result and good performance?
Oh, and catches through. Centers behind Odegaard. Here's Bukayo Saka. And he meets a wall of white jerseys. Antonio Carlos, rather Pereira, excuse me, for Orlando getting it clear. Saliba. Ben White. collision and another foul given. Juan clattering into Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely sloppy here from the right back of Orlando City, who just entered the game. He knows he's not going to get to that ball, and Gabriel Jesus, very brave, tries to anticipate that pass. He gets taken down by Juan. Golden opportunity here for Arsenal.
Thomas Partey loves himself a free kick. Took 44 shots in the Premier League last year as a defensive midfielder in 24 appearances, but only scored twice. And a battle for him to get to full fitness. Partey, right at Galesa. It's another comfortable save for the Peruvian #1.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more to beat Pedro Galesa, especially in the moment that he's at right now, arguably with one of the best saves of the season in Major League Soccer versus Atlanta United, and then some fancy handwork there to start the attack.
Is he trying out for the magic down the screen behind the back?
You know, I think he copied that from Berhalter. That's Berhalter's signature move when he gets the ball on the sideline. As we see Partey, they're going to get the ball up and over, but from that distance, you're going to require more pace, at the least more placement.
Granit Xhaka. Odegaard. Bato again in from behind, but Odegaard stays with it. Slips it through. Jesus. Shot goal! The Arsenal fans in the South End love it. The Orlando players keep diving for it, and it just kept going forward. And lands for Eddie Nketiah. And the young Haaland man scores.
Yeah, just good individual stuff here from Gabriel Jesus, and Kyle Smith has to come inside to help after his turn. Antonio Carlos, and then a fortuitous bounce to Nketiah, who finds himself in a good position in a very, very easy finish for the young player, paying back for that long contract extension and the belief that Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal supporters have in him. Gets the second one here in the evening for Arsenal, gets him up in the score.
And Nketiah was with Chelsea for 7 years as a youth player, was released by Chelsea in 2015. They weren't interested in him. He goes to their rivals, joins up with Arsenal, and is now a key part of this squad. Was excellent in the League Cup last year, had 5 goals in that competition, 10 in all competitions for Mikel Arteta last year. Orlando looking to respond again. Good here from Mulroney. Michel. And he's taken off the ball on Thomas Partey.
I tell you what, nothing's come off it, but Mulroney just 2 times with individual brilliance, putting Ben White in his pocket.
Xhaka just holding off Pato there. Now Odegaard. Oh, you could tell he was looking to spring Jesus right there. That's going to be a fun combination to watch.
It's completely changed the complexion of the game, with him coming inside, dictating play, his ability to find those threaded passes, those quick combinations, and the sweet left foot that he possesses. He's created all kinds of problems for Orlando City.
Kept having great loan stints. Vitesse, and then in La Liga with Real Sociedad. And then finally with Arsenal, where he latched on permanently. With all the overhaul of Real Madrid, he just never found his way into the team.
And to be fair, it took him a little while here with Arsenal. He was playing different roles, different positions for Mikel Arteta, and towards the end, he found himself playing more of a creator, more of a number 10 role, and that's where he has thrived. You know, they're going to need him if they want to get Gabriel Jesus, you know, those combinations, those players around him that can combine in those tight areas. And so far, he's proven to be a player that can surely do that.
Made his senior debut for Norway at age 15. He's already been capped 43 times at the age of 23. He and Erling Haaland representing an enormously bright future on the world stage for the Norwegians. Haaland getting his big move to Manchester City this summer, which sent Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal to play with Martin Odegaard. Eddie Nketiah with the goal, though, to put Arsenal ahead. Orlando have not had much of a say here in the second half after a very credible first 45 minutes. See if they can build something here. Ruan, though, dispossessed by Tavares. Jesus. Tavares again, and Ruan makes amends, blocking the cross.
Yeah, it's just been a completely different game because Orlando City's team on the second half, we're going to take a look at the goal. See, we got Gabriel Jesus with some individual play, and then Nketiah at the right place at the right time as a true fox in the box, a poacher is able to take advantage of that one. But as I was saying, Orlando City's team became weaker in the second half, nominally speaking, all due respect. You know, he made some substitutions, allowed some players to get some minutes, whereas Arsenal got stronger. More of the first-choice players came into the second half to get some minutes, 30 minutes under their belt as they play a match versus Chelsea. And Mikel Arteta looks to load as much as he can the players at the right time as they look to start their season here in a couple of weeks' time. And that's going to be a challenge for Orlando City. The complexion is going to be completely different, more dominantly from the side from London.
Well, poor giveaway by Mulroney. Here's Jesus. Gabriel Jesus finally shoots, and it's blocked by Antonio Carlos. Odegaard. Kyle Smith does well. Keeps it from Nketiah. Techo Akindele, longtime MLS veteran, who entered for Torres. Orlando getting Jacqueline ready to come in, their rookie first-round draft pick. Techo, around Gabriel. Akindele to the middle for Benji Michel. Benji trying to get away from Saliba, and he can't do it.
That's terrific stuff from Orlando City on the right-hand side. Techo Akindele, who won. And then a delivery to Benji Michel, but he knows you don't have the time to bring the ball down, control it, and then look for a strike. You gotta hit the ball. You gotta try to use one touch to put that ball in the target. Very beautiful stuff from Orlando City on the right-hand side.
Techo Akindele showing out right there. It was marvelous. Schlegel can't keep it from Odegaard. Here's Gabriel Jesus again, and Schlegel makes the tackle after giving it away.
Yeah, he cleans up his own mistake. Mind you, he needs to get help from the holding midfielders. As soon as the ball travels over the top, they got to turn and come and help for those second balls. Nobody was there.
Juan with the meg on Nketiah.
It's been a nice little battle all over the pitch. Some flair.
Oh, what a fun game this has been. It's been just a great atmosphere. 20,000 plus, and loving every second of it.
People staying after a rain delay as well.
Yep, it was an hour later than we expected to start, which I guess you do bake in the middle of July in Orlando, Florida, but nevertheless, a great showing from both fan bases tonight. Kyle Smith looking for Mulroney, but Saliba cuts it off. 21-year-old Frenchman, last year with Marseille on loan. They wanted to keep him, but he said he wants to fight for a place with Arsenal. Odegaard to Jesus. He wants one badly, doesn't he? Here's Odegaard. And forced out by Kyle Smith. Partey. Saka turned away. Worms its way out to Ben White. Odegaard get it on that left foot. Partey in a tough spot there. Techo Akindele takes it off of him. It's Schlegel. Orlando back in possession. Arsenal has 9 shots to none for Orlando here in half number 2. See if they can get one out of this sequence. No, even the speedy Juan, who is the second fastest player in Major League Soccer by sprint speed, cannot catch up to that one. So here comes Jack Lynn for Orlando. He will enter for Mulroney. Reece Nelson getting ready to come on for Arsenal. He will enter for Nketiah. Both of those players will take the field after the hydration break. And Nketiah Valencia will come off having scored the go-ahead goal for Arsenal. They have put many of their starters on here in the second half. They have been significantly improved from their first half showing. And they have themselves a 2-1 lead here in the 74th minute. And Miguel, we know this is a friendly game for both teams, and Orlando giving chances to some young players. But boy, it has been remarkable the difference that Arsenal's starters, top 6 Premier League quality players, have made, and it results in the goal for Nketiah.
Yeah, and they're inspired. Their season's starting in a couple weeks' time, and so they need to be at their absolute best. Mikel Arteta obviously looking at every single detail, and the details come from those players like Gabriel Jesus. Just his ability to dribble past people in tight areas, creating chaos inside the box, turning Antonio Carlos, dragging players out of position, and a little rebound, and Nketiah gets his goal here at Exploria Stadium. But you know, as I said, he was very, very good versus Everton. Gabriel Jesus scores a goal there, and so this is a team that is going to look to get as close as possible to what the final product is going to be going into the season, which is different than what you're seeing from Orlando City here in the second half. You're seeing a lot of players that don't particularly get a lot of minutes during the regular season, and so it's going to be a great challenge for them to go against one of the strongest combination of players that Mikel Arteta can roll out here tonight.
Now, Orlando in the middle of an absolute gauntlet in their season. They will play 6 games in an 18-day stretch this month. They're right in the middle of that. This is the 3rd game of those. They play Saturday in the league against Philadelphia, who are currently top of the table in Major League Soccer's Eastern Conference. And then their biggest game of the year is next Wednesday here at Exploria Stadium, the U.S. Open Cup semifinal against the New York Red Bulls. Orlando would host the final if they win against either Kansas City or Sacramento. It is a massive opportunity for Orlando, who have not hoisted silverware since they moved up to Major League Soccer in 2015. Reached a cup final in 2020. This is their 2nd appearance in the Open Cup semifinal, but yet to get over the hump. 2 games away from doing just that. That's for next week. We wind out tonight against Arsenal. Another young player introduced for Orlando, Jack Lynn, taken in the first round of Major League Soccer's college draft, the Super Draft, as it is known. He was the 18th player selected from the University of Notre Dame, where he played his college games, and he has lit up the MLS Second Division this year. He's got 12 goals in 13 games for Orlando City's B team. Getting a run out here with the first team. Here's Granit Xhaka. The Swiss captain. Hard to believe he's still 29. He's been a senior player since he was 17. Bukayo Saka. Odegaard. In behind, Saka cuts it back, but not enough pace to find Jesus. With the players Orlando has on the field, Miguel, how can they find the equalizer here?
Oh, it's going to require a lot of quality, and one of the things that they did really well in the first half was brave, looking to break the press from Arsenal.
Odegaard slips in Jesus. Gabriel Jesus taken wide, hits it off Galese. It'll stay in play. Odegaard. Saka and Jesus and Odegaard. This is what Arsenal fans want to see. All building those relationships. Tavares tries again. It's not been his night.
That's saying it lightly, because You know, Arsenal do a really nice job at creating number overloads on the right-hand side. Odegaard has been able to receive the ball in those half spaces between the fullback and the center back, you know, with a lot of freedom, and has really changed the complexion of this game when he gets the ball in those areas. But Orlando City forcing the ball to the opposite side. Tavares taking a shot that's probably one of the lowest expected goals chances that you're going to have.
Saka for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka didn't get all of that one. Arsenal, though, has put 11 shots on the board here in the second half after just 3 in the first. There's Pato couldn't free up Benji Michel, but that's the idea, right, is to get in behind as they did in the first half?
Yeah, but this is not, you have two center backs that are more experienced, I would say, or at least more well-balanced and organized, just from what I see from this particular game. Ben White, Gabriel, obviously he's playing on the right-hand side, Ben White, but their spacing is a lot better, their balance is a lot better.
Xhaka here for Arsenal. Looking for the third. Partey, Odegaard passes it up. It's Saka. Bukayo Saka to the middle. Shot on and goal! Reece Nelson! London's own Reece Nelson makes it 3-1 Arsenal in the 80th minute. Just came on at the hydration break for Nketiah. And he scores the goal that should ice it for the Gunners.
Yeah, them probing around the box, being patient. Eventually, you find, besides Bukayo Saka by himself, isolated versus Kyle Smith, and as an inverted winger, he does really well to cut the ball back inside, and then just a beautiful, beautiful pass to Nelson, the Brazilian, who just came on. And all he has to do is just put it in the back of the net, as Pedro Galese is in the opposite post, waiting for Saka to cut inside and maybe deliver a shot. By the time his light's over, that ball still is already in the back of the net. That's the difference in their quality in those little areas, moving the ball. Odegaard has completely changed the complexion of this game, as I was mentioning, him getting the ball in those half spaces and then creating from there, dictating, pulling players out of position. And Saka, with that ability to come inside, it just created all kinds of problems. He hasn't been as active in the second half, but very timely in this particular instance.
Here they go again. Bukayo Saka and on goal. Galese makes the save at point-blank range. Saka wanted one for himself. After Reece Nelson got the third for Arsenal, Nelson, another guy trying to make his way into Mikel Arteta's plans.
Just much better organized, and their ability to deal with the counterattacks, and they haven't really had to deal with the counterattack because their press has been so good, and their ability to keep the ball and create opportunities and just completely pin Orlando City back has been overwhelming.
It's interesting, Miguel, that this match has sort of laid bare Arsenal's problems in getting into the top four. Their first team is excellent. They are a machine when it's all operating properly, but the depth, the squad depth for them, can they match up when they have the grind of injuries and midweek European games and cup games with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool and Chelsea and even Tottenham Hotspur, who pipped them to fourth place last year? Can they find enough guys to give them quality minutes to keep putting results together to get back into the top four?
Yeah, well, that's the question, and I think the expectation as well. They were so close to getting into the top four until, as the fans would say, Arsenal versus Tottenham. I'll leave it here.
Odegaard for Jesus. They tried to give it back.
But again, it's those little spaces. Odegaard's getting the ball there, and Orlando City hasn't found a way to deal with that. Andres Pereira is too far away from him, and he's not really being able to cut the passing lane. He's allowing him to receive the ball and then having all kinds of freedom to then create problems. As we see Tavares, left back on the left-hand side, coming in.
Cool moment here for a couple of youngsters for Orlando City. Young Moises Tablante, who is yet to make his first team debut for Orlando. He is part of the Orlando City B side in MLS Next Pro. He will enter for Benji Michel, and 17-year-old homegrown Thomas Williams coming on for Alexandre Pato. Williams has played a key role in the Open Cup this year for Orlando. And now makes his way onto the pitch.
Orlando will go back.
This Arsenal game.
Go back to a line of 3, really a line of 5 in the back with this sort of overwhelming aggression from Arsenal. Great opportunity here from Moises Tablante, Venezuelan player who has done tremendous in the MLS Next Pro.
He scored a lovely goal a couple of weeks ago against Inter Miami 2 in a derby game. Another bright young talent in this academy. Hector Bellerin, a longtime Arsenal player who might be on his way out, entering for Nuno Tavares here. Was on loan last year at Real Betis, but did not stay permanently. He is back with the Gunners for the moment. Been an Arsenal player for a long time, well over 200 appearances. Free kick here for Arsenal, but Jesus draws the foul.
Well, that's a way to deal with a player of his quality, isn't it? And he's used to that because he's just so quick and so tidy in little areas that center backs, sometimes they have to go to this resource, and Antonio Carlos just getting tight to him, doesn't want him to turn because he knows if Gabriel Jesus turns, good luck with that.
Jesus and Antonio Carlos were teammates once, passing in the night at Palmeiras. They brought in Antonio Carlos right before Jesus was sold to Manchester City as a young phenom. Orlando puts a man behind the wall here. Partey and Xhaka looking to take the free kick, and it is poor young Moises Tablante, the second teamer, who gets down behind the wall for the Lions. It's Xhaka. Didn't miss by much. Just one goal in the Premier League last year for Granit Xhaka, but we've seen him score those in the past.
Yeah, that's a decent strike there, and he's slowly but surely gaining the love from the supporters back after losing the captain armband, and little by little, turning in some good performances, getting that recognition and appreciation from the Gunner supporters.
And of course, he loved in his native Switzerland as a longtime captain of the national team, over 100 caps. They will be back in the World Cup. It is Xhaka and the Chicago Fire's Xherdan Shaqiri who will lead Switzerland into Qatar. Shaqiri 7 assists in his debut MLS season, but his team has struggled. Well below the playoff line. Saka. Schlegel had enough of it for Antonio Carlos to help it along, and Tablante leaves it for Kyle Smith, who clears. And Orlando just trying to get out of here with a respectable scoreline at this point, I think.
Yeah, at this point it's damage control. They're not really, I guess, have the weapons to try to get something out of this one anymore.
We should know that 2 of their designated players, their top 3 unlimited spend players, so to speak, have not appeared tonight. They're starting number 9 and number 10, Ercan Carr and Mauricio Pereira. So not the entire first choice weaponry for Oscar Pareja tonight either. But Arsenal, since they've put on their first teamers, had a few of them in the first half, but most of them coming on here in number 2. Ben White overhits that in Orlando throw. There's Reece Nelson, who was on loan at Feyenoord in the Dutch top flight last year. Was hoping to find a place in Mikel Arteta's side, and again, that's a position where depth is not exactly with Arsenal behind Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, who is sort of a hybrid winger attacking midfielder, and then Martinelli. They're really looking for options there. Marquinhos, the 19-year-old they just acquired from Sao Paulo, could figure in. Akindele does well to keep it, but then Xhaka cleans up after Nelson put some good pressure on.
Yeah, no options for Akindele to find the pass. Antonio Carlos is more concerned of Gabriel Jesus not getting the ball if there's a loss of possession. And that doesn't show any support to Akindele there.
Jesus wins another throw for Arsenal. Orlando will rest up and quickly turn it around. A big league game against Philadelphia in less than 72 hours for them. Philadelphia top of the Eastern Conference and the best defensive record in MLS, but Orlando beat them in the U.S. Open Cup here back in May. One of only 3 losses in 25 games that Philadelphia has suffered this season. So Orlando City will be on the list for Philly to get some revenge on Saturday night. Tablante getting a nice hand from the wall as he makes his first contribution. We'll go to Nelson on the other end for Arsenal. Xhaka. Odegaard. Tried to keep it low, and young Thomas Williams steps out to win it. And then Tablante takes it off Ben White. Arsenal, meanwhile, will wrap up the FC series. As we see 3 minutes added on. They will take on Chelsea, their heated rivals, on Saturday night at Camping World Stadium. Big crowd expected for the capstone match, the Florida Cup match, in fact, here at the FC series. Curious to see how Thomas Tuchel and Mikel Arteta approach that one. How much of your hand do you show against the team that they will be competing with? Chelsea picked by just about everybody to finish 3rd in the Premier League, but they've been making a lot of noise in the transfer market, looking to move into that top 2, that elite stratosphere of Liverpool and Manchester City. Their ownership questions are behind them after Roman Abramovich was forced to sell the club. See this foul here on Odegaard. The Norwegian back to his feet. But an American investment group led by the owners of the MLB's Los Angeles Dodgers stepping in to purchase Chelsea, and they have been splashing the cash. Jules Koundé, the latest recruit, big center back that was once targeted by Pep Guardiola in Manchester City. Trying to get that deal over the line with some competition from Barcelona. It will be Chelsea and their American star, Christian Pulisic, against Arsenal on Saturday night. Orlando is the place to be here in the U.S. for soccer. And as they say, Florida is purple. Here's Williams. Gotta be cool for these young Orlando players to get on the field against one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah, it's incredible experience. You know, you dream of opportunities like this if you're somebody like, you know, Thomas Williams, you know, homegrown player for Orlando City, just recently made his debut in professional football and Major League Soccer. And this is some of the matches that show you what you're made of when you go against top-level opposition, and use that as a way to measure how far you need to go or how far you can go. It can give you a lot of confidence, putting in a good performance, even individually, against top-quality opposition.
One last rush for Arsenal. Oh. Nelson wiped out by Juan. And Juan will have a souvenir from tonight's match, a yellow card. And one last free kick for Arsenal to send us home.
They are scary when they receive the ball close to the touchline and they have a little bit of space and they go at the players. I mean, they're just so quick. Their 1v1 abilities, it's what has them here. And showing no lack of flair there from the Brazilian Nelson, who's in charge of taking the free kick.
Final moments. Curling free kick, big save, Galese from Nelson. That was nearly a stunning double for Reese Nelson. And the Peruvian number 1 cancels out a potential highlight as we get the full-time whistle. Well, a great effort from Orlando City. It was level at halftime. Wonderful goal from Orlando's big star, Facundo Torres. But Arsenal come away with a 3-1 win. Second half goals for Eddie Nketiah and Reese Nelson. And big impact once again from Gabriel Jesus, their big summer signing.
I think a good exercise for both of these teams. They both got out of it what they wanted. Mikel Arteta giving opportunities to players who may play a role during the season, especially in the first half. I think for moments in the beginning of the match, he got some good performances, but not ideal as they closed the first half. And in the second half, you got your starters, the players that are going to play a key role, your big acquisitions in Gabriel Jesus, immediately impacting the game. Odegaard, your captain, pulling the strings, getting into good spaces, making things happen. Your darling and Saka on the right-hand side, a contributor in the second goal, and completely in control of the match. And a very respectable performance if you're Orlando City, particularly in the first half, where you had a little bit of a stronger, nominally a stronger team, and they competed well. They were the best team, arguably, in the first 45 minutes, and they scored. The score was level at the half. So overall, I think both managers will be pleased with a lot of the things they saw here. Oscar Pareja now has to turn the page and focus on what's coming, which is a league match in Major League Soccer versus the Philadelphia Union in about 72 hours. And then, of course,
look at this. Pato and Gabriel Jesus, 2 of the great young prospects at their points as youth players in Brazilian football. That is quite the picture there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pato with a good performance, especially in the first half, where he had a little bit more protagonism. You know, he dropped deep to get on the ball. Pato's a player who's looking for continuity on this Oscar Pareja side. He hasn't really had it. He suffered a long injury last year with Orlando City that really kept him away from the field, and really being a contributor or being a factor for Oscar Pareja. He came in towards the end of the season and showed his quality, his individual brilliance. But here the second season around, he hasn't really had the opportunities that maybe he has wanted, but his quality is obviously there. You saw it here in this particular game.
Pedro Galese, the Orlando goalkeeper, made 8 saves tonight. A good one at the end. And how about Facundo Torres? That goal is going viral right now, all over Uruguay and all over the world.
That was a great finish. It's a great finish and a good performance from him, because, you know, little by little, he is becoming more comfortable, turning in the type of performances that a designated player is expected to turn in when they come to Major League Soccer. Budget salaries are so limited, and there's so many restrictions that when teams bet on you as a designated player, they have a big expectation, and there's a pressure element involved. And so Facundo Torres, little by little, has become better and better for Oscar Pareja. And tonight, he put in a really good performance.
Torres, 5 goals and 6 assists in competitive matches this year. An exciting future awaits the 22-year-old designated player for Orlando City.
It's where the beauty is.
He wants the crowd inside the stadium to raise the roof.
Oh, it's a feeling where the vibe is, right?
South Africa, the World Cup is theirs!
Well, quel nizam.
It's absolutely rocking.
This is where we gala the most. Anywhere and everywhere.
This is where I express my feelings, my thirst, my everything.
It's where the queens are.
And the kings. Home is where I am. This is my house.
It's where I am. This is my house.
The big boys to serve us up a sizzler. Within these shores, the rivalry of our day. Nothing gonna stop us. Nothing ain't nobody on us. It was gonna come anybody than us. You know what we came for. We can have absolutely sensational. And Salah's off and running. De Bruyne.
Who will land the first blow between the undisputed champions of England, Man City and Liverpool, in football's greatest season, only on SuperSport on DSTV.
It's not banter. You don't abuse people for their race, their religious beliefs, their sexuality. You don't do that. It's not on. It's not banter.
Une insulte reste une insulte, que ce soit sur les réseaux ou dans la vie de tous les jours.
Ich glaube, jeder Fußballer geht mal gefühlt bei Instagram oder auf irgendwelchen Social-Media-Plattformen viel Hate und ja auch viele Schimpfwörter zugeschmissen, die man natürlich nicht hören will.
I think that online abuse is so much worse than like in real life, because it's like 10 more people or 100 more people say it.
Football is the perfect reflection on what society is about, and that's why we have a massive part and an important part to play.
I'm Alicia Lehmann. I'm playing for the Swiss national team and Aston Villa. So I'm using a lot of time Instagram and TikTok and WhatsApp, of course. I like to influence young girls and show them, let's do it. You can achieve everything in your life. When you see people share negative things, I don't know, sometimes it makes me a bit sad, because I always want to use it as a positive. If we do something in our life and show it to the society, we want to help everyone. When I was dating a girl before, I think a lot of time people didn't accept it, or said, oh, now you're so different, or you're not one of us anymore, or like, I don't see you as the same now. And it just hurts, because for me, everyone is the same. The people online are much less brave because they're behind a phone or a computer. In real life, they would never say this to you. They probably ask you, can I have your shirt or can I have a signature? But because it's online, they think, I can say whatever I want, but it's not true.
Think back to Euro 2020 final, what happened with the boys from England. At the same time, I was really happy for us to win the Euro. I could see what was happening to them, their families,